Saint Augustine, Augustine of Hippo, theologian, philosopher, Bishop of Hippo Regius and Numidia, Roman North Africa, influenced Western philosophy and Christianity, works The City of God, on Christian Doctrine, Confessions, on the Trinity. Augustine established anew the ancient faith, Jerome. Augustine was drawn to Manichaeism and Neoplatonism. Grace of Christ, original sin, just war theory. Augustine imagined the church as a spiritual city of God, distinct from the material earthly city. His teachings on salvation and divine grace, views on original sin, the doctrine of grace, and predestination. Platonic realism, Filioque, original sin, free will, Augustinian predestination, absence of good, concupiscence, sacramental character, Augustine theodicy, Augustinian values, divine command theory, amillenialism, deity, church invisible, divine illumination, theocentricism, limbo. After the fall of humanity, they are experiencing combat. The body is three-dimensional object composed of the four elements: earth, water, fire, and air. The soul has no spatial dimensions. Soul is a kind of substance using reason to rule the body. Augustine thought God created everything in the universe simultaneously and not over a period of 6 days. Within this church there are two realities: the visible aspect, the institutional hierarchy, and the invisible, the souls of those in the church who are dead. Augustine originally believed in premillennialism, that Christ would establish a literal 1,000-year kingdom. Amillennialism and postmillennialist eschatology. Augustine taught that the eternal fate of the soul is determined at death. Purgatory was an intermediate state to purify those in communion. Augustine did not develop an independent Mariology. His statements on Mary surpass every other writer in number. Augustine thought if science contradicted Scripture, then that Scripture should be considered metaphorically. Adam and Eve, tree of knowledge, foolishness insapientia, Satan, root of all evil, radix mali. Pelagius gave an example of eyes. They have the capacity for seeing, but a person can make either good or bad use of it. Original sin, concupiscence, massa damnata. God orders all things while preserving human freedom. The sin of pride consists in assuming we are the ones who God chooses, or that God chooses us. Grace causes faith. Double predestination. Augustine wrote, "And what is written, that he wills all men to be saved." Astrology, epistemology, free will. Augustine led many clergy under his authority at Hippo to free their slaves as a pious and holy act. Pedagogy, the student who has been well educated, the student who has no education, the student who has a poor education and believes to be well educated, the difference between having words and having understanding.